maybe I'll make tons of money. I'll build the next Facebook.
I mean, I think everyone has ideas. I think everyone, to some degree, is an innovator. But an entrepreneur is a person who takes that idea and acts upon it and tries to execute upon it.
So I have lots of ideas. That's the problem, I think, with most people.
Startup Weekend is basically take your idea and turn it into action. And then at the end of the weekend, you pitch to a panel of judges who have either venture background, startup background.
It's either I make it really well, very rich, or I'm just gonna be broke my whole life.
It's a whirlwind, that's for sure. Entrepreneurship is surely a whirlwind like no other. It comes with the highest highs and lowest lows.
Things have changed. 2 or 3 guys with like a few hundred or $1,000 can go out there and build a product that can then turn out $1 billion company.
You think you can understand what it's like to own the responsibility for creating a business, but you can't until you actually put yourself in the entrepreneur's shoes.
Just say now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Startup Weekend San Diego. Yay! So my name is Julian Bryant. I'm one of the organizers here in San Diego, and I want to thank you all for coming out and supporting us tonight. On Friday night, we had a bunch of people get together, both business developers and designers and programmers, to come together, pitch ideas for new startups they'd like to launch. And over the course of the past 54 hours, they've been working hard to present to you their dreams for what they'd like to do in the world of entrepreneurship. So this has been a very special event because a good section of our entrepreneurs are either currently serving in the military or were recently serving in the military and are now looking at what they're going to do after that military service. And we're very happy to be plugged into this community and working with these people as well as they get started in their entrepreneurial ventures. So for this weekend, we're very fortunate to have Ahmed Sadiq down here from Startup Weekend Bay Area. He's been a organizer for Startup Weekend for a long time, and it has been coordinating the efforts up there in Bay Area as well as several other cities where he's been visiting. And I'd like to turn the evening over to him.
All right, we're gonna get this thing kicked off. Thanks again. You guys have been great. So this is a very, very special event, and I have never ever seen this kind of energy at any other startup weekend that I've been to. So the military vets and current service members, you guys are awesome. Big, big round of applause to you guys for slogging it out. It's been a tough 54 hours, and you guys made it. So big round of applause. So I think a lot of you have gotten a chance to kind of see the video, but I just want to give you a really quick understanding of what is Startup Weekend. Startup Weekend is a nonprofit organization that is global, and we do roughly 500 events a year in all parts of the world, including places like the Bay Area and even down to like Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, which I found was pretty amazing. So again, we do 500 events a year. The whole objective is for us to be the world's best place to learn about entrepreneurship. And to be a great entrepreneur, you actually need to be actually doing stuff. And so everything that we teach at Startup Weekend is all about learning through doing. And again, you will be able to experience everything that the teams have put together over the past weekend by doing. So again, I think you'll be in for a pretty awesome event tonight. I've just been blown away by the projects that people have been putting together. And again, we're global, 70,000 attendees, 106 countries, and we are backed by some very large sponsors. The first one is the Kauffman Foundation based in St. Louis, Missouri, or Kansas City, sorry, Kansas City, Missouri. And has been an amazing supporter of entrepreneurship in general and a huge catalyst for us to be able to expand our brand all over the world. Microsoft BizSpark has been supporting entrepreneurs for a lot of years, providing all sorts of software and support and just in general encouragement of all entrepreneurs in the space. Google has been amazing, especially for this event. They really came to us and said, hey, look, we should do something really awesome with the vets. And we're like, all right, let's do it. Google has been amazing. Amazon Web Services for providing hosting. .co, a lot of team members actually got their own .co domain for free this weekend. And we've got CloudMine, again, back-end services for mobile apps. We've got SendGrid, who does email integration with your apps. And again, these are our global sponsors that can make things like this happen. And I'm going to hand it over to John, who's going to talk about the local sponsors. But again, to all the service members, thanks again for serving this country, and again, amazing job this weekend.
Thanks, Ahmed. So locally here, we've had some really supportive sponsors. Qualcomm is not the least of which. Qualcomm Labs and their new product Gimbal have been very supportive of not just this startup weekend, but the last startup weekend and the next one. They've made a big donation to us and made this possible. And the Hall of Champions here, they hosted us. We're happy to be here this time. This is the biggest venue we've been in, and we're happy to be able to accommodate a much larger crowd this time. Pillsbury Law Christian is here in the audience. He is going to be giving away an incorporation to a team of their choice, which is a huge value because they're a startup law firm here in town and have worked with a lot of startups. So that's a big gift from them to one lucky team. And person he works with, John here, one of the judges with Project Tiki, they've also donated to this event as well, and he is also donating his time as one of the judges, so we thank him. Uber, they donated rides to our participants, and also are going to be giving some prizes to the winning team. Market by Numbers is Brant Cooper's company. He's giving a copy of his book to all of the participants, which is Lean Startup Development. It's going to help them on what to do after this weekend and to help them throughout the weekend. SendGrid helped us a lot. They sponsored not only as a national sponsor, but came on a local level and gave us some direct support, and we thank them for that. The Founder Institute is a local incubator here in town. They're going to give away one scholarship to the leader of the winning team to be invited to come to their incubator and go through their program. So that's a big gift and is a way to get kickstarted out after this weekend. The San Diego Co-working Alliance is going to be giving away some time at one of the co-working facilities in their co-op, and it's throughout San Diego County, so that these teams, the top 3 teams can have some time to go and work on these ideas and a place to work on them at. So very helpful. NeoVision Rentals are these wonderful screens behind me. Mike here in the audience has donated his time to set these up and the materials, so we're very thankful for him. And Sean Cassidy Photography, which he took photos of Friday night. We're very happy to have him. And let's give a big hand to our local sponsors. Thank you. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get into these presentations. These teams have been working hard all weekend, but it comes down to these 5 minutes. These 3 judges are going to have 3 criteria to judge these teams on. The first is going to be customer validation. So who is this team's customer? Did they go out and did they make sure that the product that they've made is actually got an audience that wants it in the world? And if they can answer that question well, they're a long way along the road of entrepreneurship and having a successful company. The second is a business model. Have they gone through and figured out how this company is going to operate, what its strategy is? Are they going to make any revenue, and how are they going to do so? They need to be able to explain that not only to have a successful company, but to attract any type of investors or talent to their teams. The third is going to be execution, and it's special with this event because a lot of the times you see in hackathons and things, people just focus on making a working product, but without the proper customer and without the proper business model, the best made product will fail. And the worst made product, if it's got those other two criteria of a good customer and a good business model, will succeed. So execution in this competition is all about how did you take those first two criteria and put them into a working product. And by working product, it could be a prototype, it could be a mock-up, but it needs to have incorporated those. So did the team execute well on that, and did they work together to get that done? So now we've come to the moment of truth for these teams. The first team on our roster is Fanchise. Thank you. Well, so that judging criteria, our judges here, I'd like them to introduce themselves.
Hi, John Hobson with Project Tiki. We have offices here in California, Texas, and Minnesota, and we help young entrepreneurs with development of their product or business model to get through proof of concept and go into funding.
Hey everyone, Mike Alfred from Brightscope. We're a 40-person financial information company here in San Diego, growing quickly, trying to bring more data and analytics to the financial information space and help consumers make better decisions.
My name is Neil Centuria, and there's a reasonable chance that I'm the oldest person here. And I think it's impressive that it's in the Hall of Champions. A long time ago, I also was in the Army, and I have a lot of affection for the combination of seeing the champions on the wall and the champions who have served the country. So it's a real pleasure to be here.
All right, thank you to our judges for donating their time tonight and their expertise. So now, without further ado, let's turn it over to our first team. They're going to have 5 minutes to present their project. It's a hard 5 minutes. They're going to be cut off whether they're done or not. And then the judges are given an opportunity to get some questions answered, and there'll be some back and forth. So here is Fanchise.
Do we use this one? How's everyone doing tonight? All right, how is everyone doing? Tonight we're going to talk to you about Fanchise. What is Fanchise? Fanchise is a crowdfunding platform for franchises. My name is Ty. A little bit about myself. I'm currently a staff sergeant in the United States Army. I've been serving for a little bit, like 12 years now. I've always dreamed about opening my own franchise, so I came to my friends to ask them how I was going to get this done. So they came up with the idea of Fanchise, and my friend Dad is going to get into further detail about that.
Yeah, currently, there's two major problems we're trying to solve here. Raising funds for a franchise is hard, and currently there's 13 million unemployed Americans. So how are we going to solve that? First, we're going to target successful franchise owners already, get them to open another franchise, and we're going to target accredited investors only, so don't have to worry about the Jobs Act. Then what that's going to do, that's create more franchises, that's create more jobs. Then after January, when the Jobs Act is passed, we could target the 20 million employees that already work at these franchises. We spoke to about 20 of them, and 19 of them was interested in investing in their own franchise. I think the one guy just hated his job. And here's our competitive advantages. We're targeting only franchises for the simple fact that they're proven and they work. And they're not governed by the SEC, so the Jobs Act doesn't affect them. They're governed by the FTC. What's going to have a problem with other startups and crowdfunding sites is this. You don't know how to put a value on a new startup. You know how to value a franchise. You eliminate that. And we also created something on our back end where it's like the mint.com for franchises. And we'll try to get to the first to market by showing you how it's done. Okay, this year, my buddy Ty, he comes to our site, hears about our site Franchise. So he comes and he looks at our site. You know, we have people looking for be franchise, feature franchise. So there's three main things. Ty could come here, try to find and learn about franchise. You know, he looks at a different type of franchise. We give him information on a different type of franchise. He's interested about 7-Eleven because he found out that the CEO used to be a former U.S. Army. That's of 7-Eleven. So he's interested in opening 7-Eleven. He can learn more about the 7-Eleven, how much it costs to start, he does do his due diligence, so he wants to start a franchise. So he started a franchise, and other people could look at Ty campaign and could raise, help him raise enough funds to start the franchise. And what we do is, as now for Ty, when he becomes a franchise owner, we build something where he actually could help manage his investors or his co-franchisees. He could get alerts, get news about 7-Eleven, messages from his co-investors or co-franchisees, get financials, list of his investors. And also, we have calendars of different events that they could have. And we have the great thing is not only for Ty, but also for his investors, they could see the financials of how their business are doing. You can see core earnings, year-to-date earnings, and also how 7-Eleven in general doing as stocks and current stock prices. And also we provide franchise information for 7-Eleven and other franchise. For example, he want to learn more about accounting services that 7-Eleven could provide. So we actually give the links to 7-Eleven, learn about marketing from 7-Eleven provides, and also as investors. And my brother Daz is going to talk about.
We have a little technical difficulty, but I have the business model on there. We don't know how to use Macs. We're Windows people. Sorry about that. But pretty much there's 300 new franchises open every week, and franchise actually account for $1 trillion in revenue. So, for example, we're able to penetrate the market by 1%. That's 150 new franchises every year. We could create about 4,000 jobs within the first year. If we hit on the higher end of it, let's say the 10% about mark, we could create about 40,000 jobs. For us, yes, you could make money, but the great part of it is you will create jobs, where that is a problem nowadays.
They just had too many people stuff on there at once. I think it's under preview.
All right, franchise. Thank you.
All right.
And we have a couple minutes to talk.
All right, Pinnacle, you're on deck. Please come on up. And Flutterly, you're in the hole.
If you had to give me one sentence, what would it be this site's going to do?
We're essentially franchising franchises. So we'll take a royalty. What our business model is, we'll take a 70% broker fee that we will take as deferred payment. So we convert it to a convertible loan. So we defer the payment as a convertible loan.
Okay. So the franchise business is obviously a difficult one, but here's an idea. What you sounded like was you'd like to create jobs. So you could go, this is not your idea, so I mean, it's interesting what you've said. I understand about the Jobs Act. I understand about crowdfunding, and I'm supportive of what you said. But the hard part is you have to get permission from the franchisor, 7-Eleven or McDonald's or the cupcake people. So what if you went to each of them and got them to offer a franchise to the military if they could match or crowdfund part of the baseline fee? So if your idea was to create jobs, why not involve, instead of the crowd, involve the franchisor, the person you need to get permission from?
That's actually a great idea, and we actually have experience crowdfunding ready. We actually raised $250,000 for his project. So I go to 7-Eleven, I raised $250,000 for this. Can you match me? It will create jobs, and maybe we'll pay you back.
I'm a big believer in crowd. I get it. What I want you to do is think about the priority of the business model. So that says there's some guy in Dallas, in Southland Corporation, that's 7-Eleven, who says, I'm willing to grant a new for at the location of, that's where you would play a
I think that's a
central
great
role,
idea.
and then you can have a piece of that deal and all the other ones that come.
That's a great idea. That'll pave the way for other franchises afterwards.
Thanks, guys. First of all, I really like the enthusiasm, and I think more than anything else, that's going to help you guys be successful. I also like the idea of crowdfunding in this environment because there are a lot of recent regulations, as you know, that are going to allow more small investors to participate in private investments. So that's great. I think there's two big questions I had for you. I heard crowdfunding platform, and I also heard Mint for franchises. And I think at this early stage, it's going to be really hard for you to be really good at both of those things. So I would encourage you to choose one or the other. And then the other question I had for you is just, is the problem here that there isn't enough funding, or is the problem that there are a lot of people that don't have enough skills to actually run a franchise? Because it's great if you could crowdfund for somebody $500,000 so they could own a Subway, but what if they stink at management? Is that the issue? And so I would just ask you, on those two questions.
Yeah, so at first we're going to target people who already own franchises already because they have the proven success record. So then they could own another one. So they could own maybe 4 or 5 and create more jobs that way. And investors are more likely to invest in them because they already show that they could do it already.
Echoing pretty much what they said, great enthusiasm, love the idea, do a lot of work in franchising myself and know the hurdles to acquiring people and getting that. So my big questions were around, what's the business model, how you make money on your side, and then also acquiring customers. I think those are kind of the big pieces, and just getting focus on what that business model is. It wasn't exactly clear.
Yeah, so we're just going to probably take like a 7% broker fee, then we're going to defer it as a convertible loan. Thank you, judges.
All right, thanks so much, franchise. Next up, we have Pinnacle Fitness and Training. So why don't you get up and get set up, and we'll get started.
Good evening. My name is John Brandon Pierre. I'm a sergeant in the Marine Corps Reserves currently, and this is Jonathan Goodwin. He's a civilian developer, and we have a business called Pinnacle Fitness and Training. But the problem that we see right now, not only nationwide but worldwide, is that we have an obesity epidemic. That's no news to anyone. One of the things that is another problem is that there's a really hard part on the on the side of the actual client to actually get access to, number one, premium services, and also having the time and also having the available funds to fund the cost of that. Our solution is basically an overhaul and innovation in in-home training, close personal guidance, and also dependable motivation. Good. Our business model is this. Number one, with Doing Fitness, is pricing validation. Okay, people want to know basically how much it costs and if they can afford that. We basically took care of this with basic tiers. We have basic, standard, and premium, which is 3 different tiers that you can actually get training with or not, so you can have it in-home. And also, we wanted to bring the training also out into the local community or not, through marketing and marketing through local partnerships. These local partnerships take, for example, physical therapy offices or whatnot. They actually have, I spoke to a woman today, she actually has clients that she wants to get in the gym, but they won't go to a gym and they can't afford a trainer. So that's where we come in. Here's the magic, okay? Interactive video. This is what the actual trainee will see. So say, for example, I am your trainer, and with this model, I could train all of you. You will be seeing the training video of me doing the actual exercise, and you will see me right there in the lower corner, not actually coaching you, motivating you, and actually also critiquing your form. So say, for example, you have something that you're doing that isn't correct, I can tell you to change and what to change and how to change it. This is what the trainer will see. The trainer, myself, we're not sitting wherever I am. I can see, number one, all of the different people that I'm training, and I can also see a video of what's going on so that I can stay on cue with that video. This is basically for customer service. As a customer, what you want to see is that the person who's training you is going to actually do something for you. We have the bio, where they are. We have their training styles, basically what they can train you in. We also have their credentials. Okay, so that's a big situation with our trainers. And we also have ratings. So if you like a trainer or not, you can check the ratings. If they don't have good ratings, pick another trainer. This is for the clients. Okay, this is for all of you. You can go on and you can put down your goals. Jonathan here lost 30 or 40 pounds. You can put down activities that you can do outside of training. Okay, these are things that you can also talk about with your trainer. You can also do things like look at, for example, you can track his biometric progress and see what actual trainer is training him. So if you see his progress, you like what's going on, you can pick his trainer. All right, here's the thing. With a lot of clients or whatnot, there needs to be motivation and accountability, okay, to keep you going and whatnot, and also to get you actually in front of the camera. This is done two ways whatnot, through technology. I can call you, I can let you know your training is in an hour, your training's today or whatnot. You need to be where you need to be in order to do that training. The great thing is, you have to only be at home. Next. Competition. We have gym franchises, DVD training programs, and independent trainers. For a gym franchise or whatnot, to get started, you need to come out of pocket right now. And usually between 24-hour fitness and whatnot and like LA Fitness, you're going to come out between $70 and $80 out of pocket up front. Now with us or whatnot, we actually ask that you do like a 1-week commitment, because that's a commitment you need to see a result. With these, you do a year commitment, 6 months commitment. They want a long term. With DVD training programs, you can pop the DVD in. There's no one there to actually coach you. If you're actually doing the movement wrong, you could injure yourself. With this, we're actually there. We're doing the actual monitoring. We're looking at you. We're talking to you directly. We're interacting with you. And independent trainers, unless you're a celebrity or you have a lot of money or you're a business owner, it's going to be really hard to get someone to come to your house, bring everything with them, go over biometric training, nutrition, dieting, and also basically map your progress without paying at least $3,000 a month. That price only goes up. Status and timeline. Currently, right now, we have a landing page, we have HTML mockup, and we have validation. We have across-the-board validation from not only clients, but from vendors also. We talked to, in this weekend alone, we beat the feed, just two of us or not, talking to over 100 people. We found that some of those people were actually vendors. Cool, awesome. We also have customer validation or not. We have the assumptions where the customers are willing to pay for the service. They are. Clients actually want a personal trainer. Like I said, we talked to over 100 people this weekend. They want a personal trainer. They need that. We learned that privacy is something that they want, and motivation is something that they need.
Thank you, guys. A little Q&A from the judges. Stay up here.
Thanks. First off, I really like that, relative to a DVD approach, it's going to be much more interactive. I also think that, this sort of approach is being applied to, say, doctors now. I just saw an article in the Journal this week where they reviewed 4 different companies where they're basically going to a doctor remotely so they don't have to go to the emergency room. I just saw a pitch about that as well. So I see the world going that direction. One of my first questions is, why would you choose a name that makes you sound like an offline company or a gym when you're really a technology-enabled company? And along with that, why wouldn't you talk more about the technologies you're using, given that that seems to be a major differentiator over an offline approach?
That's actually a really good question. The way that I came up with the idea of the name Pinnacle is because of the fact that, number one, when you look for training, you want the best training. You want the absolute top tier to your training. And yes, there will be a lot of software involved in that to bring this interactive and make it interactive. But at the same time, this will be a training company. It will be where our main goal is not to basically sell software or give software away or make it to where it's about the interaction completely. It's about the client. It will always be about the client, because fitness is a very client-based, results-driven company or a business. And if they can see those results or not, if we can give it to them through that technology and help develop that technology, then we're actually taking it and we're being a Pinnacle level company.
I got 2 questions.
Sure.
What does it cost me per month to have your body?
My body?
Yeah. Just want to know what that's going to cost me.
All right.
Okay.
Actually, I'm actually a well.
That's a joke.
Let me give you the background.
We'll let it go. Let me give you the
sweat. A lot of sweat.
Here's the question, which is, the assumption is it'll be in somebody's home, correct?
Yes.
How do you get them all the equipment?
Actually, there's a lot of equipment. You can have my body without any equipment at all, to be absolutely honest with you. That's called isometric training. There's Pilates, there's yoga, whatnot. There's a lot of different types of training that don't involve weights. And also, if, say, for example, we have clients that would like weights, That could be something that we add on later on. You know, if you've been with the company for a month, I'll send you a stability ball. Like I said, my making money is important, and with this model, we can make a lot of money quick on a worldwide basis. But the main portion of this is you. If you need an ad roller, I'll send you one.
Thank you.
I think you've covered most of the pieces. I think the nice thing about what your approach is you're at the right time. You know, with Wi-Fi and broadband coming on, I've seen people kind of go at this before. The fact that they're doing it with medical and everything is good. So I think good timing, interesting things. I think it's keeping those clients engaged is going to be key, and keeping that reoccurring payment going. You know, I think you said just a 1 month fee or whatever. I would, you know, get that churning.
Right. You want to do it? We are going to do like a weekly subscription fee so that they're in 3 sessions. They kind of have the motivation to at least stick with those 3 sessions, but we don't want to go beyond that because we don't want people to feel like they have to become a commitment folk. We just want to get people in there to try our product, and that's why we even have the group classes. We feel that most people will go more towards the individual personal trainer through video, but we want to get them at a lower price range with the group.
To also, there's something that you said that was really, really important, and that was how to keep the person coming back. And through things like Google Plus or whatnot, and formation, what's that?
Twilio too.
Twilio, we can actually bring people together. So the one thing that I did mention in the business plan was to involve local communities. So for example, as a trainer or not, say I'm training 16 people in Claremont. I can go down to the health food store in Claremont, make an event, send those people down there or not, and actually train them inside the store on how to buy the food that they need, you know, how to shop, what to buy, because it's not a food business's primary goal to serve you as far as health and fitness goes. That's your job. So my job as your trainer is to educate you on what you're buying and how to use it in your body. So that it brings it brings an in-home service also out into the community. So if you need other services or whatnot, I can set up an event, say for example, with a physical therapist. In fact, that's the lady that I met this morning at 7 o'clock. She literally said, you know, if you want, what I would like to see is, one, my clients that need fitness use your program, and then when you have events, you can bring your people down here, and I can teach them, and my clients can get taught by you.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you, Pinnacle Fitness. Now we have Flutterly up. These guys came in with a neat idea and had a really good team behind them, so let's see what they came up with.
Hi, everybody. My name is Juan Gallardo. I was a corporal in the Marine Corps during OIF 1 and OIF 3, and the challenge that I had when I was over there that a lot of people are having is the communication, the way that everybody was communicating, staying in touch with family, friends, and so forth. One of the biggest issues was instead of just getting emails, you wanted to have, you know, pictures of them and so forth, but it was very difficult to take them, upload them, download them, and so forth. And also, you also want to be able to hear their voice and also be able to, because you had a very limited time to be able to call them on the phone and talk to them. It would have been nice to be able to maybe record something and have it available for everybody else, you know, so that they can know that you're okay while you're deployed and so forth.
Hi, I'm Denise Walker, and like you said, I'm here with Flutterly. So just to reiterate his problem, again, right now with social media, you could text and send status updates and tweets, but the problem with texting is there's really no emotional connection. It's not really that personal because you can't really read emotions through text. Also, there's no easy way to send an audio message to a group of people. If he wanted to, you know, tell a group of his friends and loved ones that he was okay, there's no easy way for him to do that. There's also no easy way for you to add audio to a photo. So our solution is Flutterly. It's a social platform that uses your voice to connect with people. You're able to send flutters to globally or to a group, or if you wanted to just send a private message, you could send a whisper to just one individual person. You're also able to add audio messages to your photos. Our minimum viable product is the ability to do a speech to text, and like I said, the audio photo mashup. User experience. So with user experience right now, you have the ability to do a faster speed to upload photos and SMS. Also, Flutters have a 20-second limit on them for audio, so it kind of just gives that quality of content You'll also be able to send global flutter, group flutters, and whispers. And the text-to-speech, that was really important for us because it allows the hearing disabled to be able to read the audio messages that's sent to them. Also, if they're anywhere where it's too loud or anything like that, then they could read the audio messages. Privacy is a huge issue for us, so that's also something that we're really integrating in our platform. Our customer. So right now, because we're born out of here, and you know, with Juan's story, it was really important for us to capture our initial customers as military veterans and family. They'll be able to invite up to 20 friends. So right now, it's only them that will have that exclusive access to our alpha and beta versions. Potential customers obviously will be Facebook users and mobile phone users. Our customer validation. So we went out there, you know, with our benchmark saying, okay, if at least 40% of people understand and say they'll use the product, then maybe we have something going. The results after doing the surveys with friends, family, and some people here, we found out that 68% says they'll absolutely use it. 14% don't really know what we're talking about, so that's unfortunate. Okay, and with our business model, we're going with a freemium model. For the free, we have the free access to the platform. They'll be able to save 1 month of their Flutter history, and they'll be able to send and receive audio messages. Our premium model, they'll have an unlimited storage space, and also there's different customizations that we're going to do with them. And the talent. So I'm Denise Walker. I'm the business dev. Juan is our iOS developer. Conrad is our web developer. Kian is our back-end developer. Stanley and Gurkaran is our marketing. We're able to create an app that works and also a website that works. And here's our demo.
Yeah, but I don't see the audio. So what we did is we built an mobile web interface here. So basically, if you go to the website, you click on that speaker icon, and basically you can record your voice right there, and then it will create the this audio for you. But this laptop doesn't have the audio output.
The audio is not working, but we wanted to
so
show you guys.
Basically, yeah. So basically, here you can sign in, and then you can play this audio. Yeah. So the way we can link with Facebook, when we sign to Facebook, we will capture a customer directly. Let me sign up to my account right now. So basically, it will link to my Facebook right here, and it will load all my friends. So this is me, right? And then here's all of my friends that I'm listening to. So more like a follow on Twitter, and then all of the tweet that if they gonna whisper, it will show here live stream, and then you can just click through them and hear it. But there's no.
It's a really cool message.
But it is a technology that we get to work over the weekend. That's the point we're trying to get out. But and this is like a native HTML, so you can view on the phone and you can record it. Yep. Thank you.
All right. All right, now we're going to turn it over. Next up, we're going to have a personal hero get on deck, and we're going to take some Q&A with the judges, about 3 minutes of it.
Just real quick, is it primarily for your mobile phone? That's where you think they'll view it, or is it through their Facebook page as a plugin? What's kind of your vision?
It's actually both, but we're really big on the mobile phone use of it because, you know, right now pretty much everybody has a smartphone, and we really think that it'll just help it just grow virally if we have that focus on.
So one of the the reason why we're focusing so much on iOS is because of the fact that when somebody's deployed, which was our use case scenario, it's so cheap that they already have the iPod Touch or whatever the case is, which can play those apps. So we're already leveraging off of existing technology that they have. That's why we're going that route.
So I really love this. I really love this one. I thought you guys are doing everything right. Great name, great design and logo. It just feels right to me. And what I like about it is it's a really big idea. So I like that you showed that, you know, 68% of people said they would use it, but I don't think it matters because no one understood Twitter when it came out, right? And so, but what I like about this is this could be that big of a company, right? And so I think you should definitely go after. And just to follow on, I was curious about the mobile versus web. That looked like a web application, but to me, like I would design it entirely for the mobile experience, sort of like Instagram from the beginning, and forget about the web completely. That's just me.
That's it. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I respond to that? So that's a great idea, and that is our intent. So the reason why we wanted to have the web available is just so it can enable people to have more features when they're at home. So the person sending them, or somebody who's keeping track of everything that's coming in. And
also, it was really big on me also to have that feature. So we just didn't have the time to show everything, but we do have an app going, and an iOS app, but we also want to go into Android as well.
Already completely wireframed the iOS version. I'm already going to start development this week, and then after that, we're going to hire an Android guy to finish it out.
And what you're going to do is provide sound attached to a picture for me. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. It's terrific.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Flutterly. Next up, we have Personal Hero.
Hi, I'm Isaiah Pacheco, and our project was called Personal Heroes. And we're out to fix the problem that exists out in the world today, and that's that there's no immediate jobs that provide cash for veterans. Everything that's out there right now is a really long-term solution. You got ways to re-educate and retrain people for different vocations, but nothing really attacks the problem that just gets the money in the hands of veterans when they need it. And what I want to do is try to solve that problem. Our solution is that we're going to create a platform that just allows people to post up jobs for the veteran, and or jobs or day tasks, and the veterans will be the job bank that goes and sees that and does them. We did a lot of customer validation over the weekend. A lot of it kind of comes from the personal experience of the different people we talked to. We took a lot of data from our mentors and tweaked what we originally started with and molded it into what we finished with at the end of the weekend. We did a lot of face-to-face interviews, and we put ourselves up on social media outlets and conducted surveys. We also did some data mining. What we found from all this information is that veterans are our biggest supporters. So I think one of the problems is that you got people that are trying to make these communities of job posters that don't necessarily exist, and then they try to narrow in on the people that are going to be providing them specifically for veterans. What I want to do is just go to the veterans themselves, because through our research is what we found is that all veterans kind of want to be the supporters of the younger generation, and we want to make sure that that link happens on our site. And another thing that we also learned is we have found somebody who posted today on Craigslist, hey, over the weekend I need some really quick cash. There's some miscellaneous jobs that I can do for anybody, and he's basically just put himself out to the open world. And it was interesting to know that he was active duty, and I didn't realize that we were going to go into that space, but I think that's the avenue that we're going to try to attack too. So the model is basically we're an online platform, and what we're going to do is we're going to have the existing community that's showing interest in providing jobs for veterans, and we're going to have veterans readily available and also active duty members who want extra cash on the weekends and things like that to be available for the job bank. What we're going to use for monetization is we're going to use a proven method, and that's the transaction model. We're going to take a small percentage of every transaction that's handled between the person posting the job and the person doing the job. And also, we're going to make use of our existing networks, which are pretty extensive. I was in a veteran service organization as an officer, and I was also part of the College of Marin's Veterans Club, and I got to talk to a lot of people that were kind of feeling the same pain that I was feeling about having no quick solution to get cash in your pockets when benefits weren't coming in on time. So over the weekend, we were able to validate our assumptions, and especially all of our new ones, that we were going to have a ready market for this product. We continue to refine the idea and to fix the problem, and that'll be coming up soon. We launched an Indiegogo campaign. Right now we have $250 in support, and what we promised them is that that money was going to get turned back into active jobs for veterans. So people are just basically prepaying to use our service already. And I'll go ahead. We're at personalheroes.co, and I'll show you some screenshots. What we have right now is you go to the homepage, and you would basically log in, build your profile and log in, and then you would see your profile. This is pretty standard, but it helps keep track of like what jobs have been posted, what jobs have been completed, and things like that. And this is something that we try to make as easy to see as possible. We can sort out jobs by location, by the category, and by the title of the job, so just so that way there's multiple ways that a veteran can find exactly what fits his skill set and go complete that job. You can also go on there to find the rest of my team. I wouldn't have been able to accomplish any of this, and we're all partners now, and we really want to keep moving forward with this idea. You can learn more about all of them at our site, heroes.co. The takeaways from this weekend is that we established that there is a need through personal testimonials and from my own personal experience. We found that veterans are our biggest supporters, which is why we want to attack that market hard. They can be both the job providers and the people benefiting from our service. We also have extensive networks to all the people that we're going to be giving this to, and there's so many places that we can go that already provide the network for us, like posts and military organizations.
Thanks, Personal Hero.
Thank you.
Let's give them a round of applause. Good job. We could have Buy Taste get on deck here and get ready to queue up and take some questions.
Yeah, thank you. That was really very good. I have two questions. The assumption you're making is that veterans want part-time work, not full-time work. Right. Is that true? Is that a valid assumption?
We're not tackling the long-term career changes or big or long-term jobs. We find that there's times where people just have trouble making ends meet, and if we have a ready bank of jobs,
you're relatively convinced that there's a demand for part-time jobs.
Yes, we did a lot of data mining. We went on existing social networks, and people were kind of just throwing the resume up and saying, "Hey, I'm a veteran. I can provide these miscellaneous skills."
So here's a suggestion. I understand the platform racket. I mean, I get it. Let's go back to the job givers. Let's go find the people who have the jobs to give and get them to be your partners or sponsors or the providers. The problem on my side, as I think about it, there'll be no shortage of people who will post looking for. The other side of the platform is I have a job that is 60 hours or 4 days or I need to. How are you going to find the job giver?
Just from based on what we were able to validate was just that we pretty much would have to go to the veterans, so maybe we can focus on veteran-run businesses and things like that to help expand on our network.
So I like the general concept. Have you guys looked at Troop Swap?
No, we have not.
Okay, I met the founder of that a couple of years ago, and it's basically like a Craigslist for the armed services. And it seems like you guys are building a Craigslist specifically for jobs for the armed services, so I would just encourage you to take a look at that. And the other thing that came to mind is when you said you're taking a % of the transaction, that would imply to me that somehow you're involved in the actual collecting of payments, which is a pretty horrible issue to have to deal with, and for a lot of reasons. And so I would ask you maybe to think about why Craigslist doesn't take a piece of every transaction, maybe because it's hard and maybe there's a better way. So just a couple of thoughts for you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I like the idea. I think the biggest challenge is going to be connecting people, the people that have the jobs, the people that want them, and cutting through the clutter, because there's a lot of job things out there, and getting mass. I mean, it sounds like you have some good connections, things like that. I would team up with them to leverage those people and have them leverage their marketing abilities, to help promote this. And also just to echo, I've part of a nonprofit that does it for students, job boards, and trying to find people to pay is the tough part. That's why so many of them are free, is because it's a service they're trying to help other people. It's hard to get money out of that. So you just got to really hone in on where you're going to get your money, to support yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It's good.
All right, great. Thank you, Personal Hero. Next up, we have Buy Taste.
Hi, my name is Matt. I'd like to pitch to you Buy Taste, which is a recommendation engine for restaurants where we take user taste preferences, which are gathered through visual information, and turn that into personalized recommendations for restaurants. So this is our team here. We had a great time. We met this weekend, and we came to the weekend with really just one question. How do people find restaurants? And there's 3 ways. Through word of mouth, by randomly stumbling into a restaurant, and then also through technology. So what's the problem here? So people are taking chances when deciding on a restaurant, inherently risking both their time and money. And we believe that there's a big opportunity to help people make these decisions better through technology. So the status of current technology. There's an overwhelming amount of data. When you think about services such as Yelp, there's tons of reviews, but they're hard to sort through and read. And then even if you do read through them, it's hard to know which of these reviews are specific to you to get personalized recommendations. Technology is also somewhat inaccessible to the layperson. It requires you to kind of go out and seek the technology to use it. We walked around Balboa Park the other day and talked to about 25 groups of people, found that 80% of the people surveyed do not seek out tools such as Yelp, Foursquare, Food Spotting to find a restaurant. So we created ByTaste to tackle each of these issues. Really wanted to focus on our user acquisition. I think that's, we've identified it's the main problem with all these services. They can't get the users in to use them. So we want to focus on Facebook and visual gamification. I think it's really important to use pictures. When you see pictures of food, there's a visceral response. You get hungry, and to kind of satisfy that and feed yourself, you're going to click on the picture. There's also going to be a lot of sharing involved on Facebook. We want to take pictures from Newsfeed, from Pinterest, Food Spotting, Instagram, and let users really click on these pictures. And so on the front end, we want it to seem like it's a game, like it's very interactive. They're just clicking on pictures. But on the back end, we're gathering information about them as they do it. We take this information and we create what's called their flavor board, which is a culmination of all their food preferences. This uses a machine learning algorithm that's continually evolving as they continue to input more information. So I want to give a little bit of a demo about our product. We're able to create kind of an app demo here over the weekend. So you go in and you can create your flavor board, add to it, and like I said, just a lot of pictures. You kind of click on what speaks to you here, like steak, Chinese food. Then we change the question up to some different preferences that you have. Are you vegetarian? Once we know about your flavor board, we can go into the search feature here. You'll see there's a group search feature up at the top. So if you're with 3 of your friends and they all have a flavor board too, you can just say you're with your friends, and it'll take all of your preferences into account to give you the recommendation. So say I want a sandwich here, I'm going to search for it, and we're going to give you the top recommendations. So we believe that Chez Nu is going to be the best restaurant for you here. You can see we rank it out of Cherries. That's kind of our logo there. You can continue to give input by clicking on the check mark or the red X. And then we've kind of built it out. You can have map features in it as well. So really just a lot of tools here to use. Also wanted to talk about the back end, sort of some of the technological infrastructure that we have. Let me just get to this slide. So, I want to talk about the technological infrastructure with the search feature here. So after we've got the demo, it starts off with an initial query. So a user says, I want American cuisine. We also take their geofencing data using the information off their phone, and we're going to add to that with our flavor board profile. So based on the flavor board, we can add that we know they like steak, so we're going to add that to their query. We then send these queries off to different services such as Yelp, Zagat, Food Spotting, Foursquare, and we're going to get the results back. We're going to compile them, format them, eliminate duplications, and go through another round of flavor board filtering. So if we see that you click on a bunch of pictures from someone on Pinterest, a specific user, we can link it back to their Facebook and their Yelp account and take restaurants that they've recommended and push them up to the top of the list. From there, you can go on to some of our affiliate partners such as OpenTable, Grubhub, which is how we're going to monetize. These are the different items that go into flavor board. Like I said, a lot of visual, different food dishes. Want to highly leverage Pinterest, Food Spotting, Instagram, your Facebook newsfeed. Like I said, talk about if you have allergies, if you're a vegetarian, specific tastes that you have in restaurants. So as far as our business model goes, we're targeting first-year projections of 50,000 active users based on similar services and how they started out. And with this, we're targeting $500,000 in revenue in the first year. So we're going to generate that revenue through our affiliate partnerships with OpenTable, Grubhub, Groupon. If we can kind of take these users and they're looking for a restaurant, they're actively seeking a restaurant, and then push them out to these services, we can generate some revenue sharing, potentially down the line create sort of deals of our own. So that is ByTaste. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, ByTaste. Let's get Snap Realty on deck. Check your presentation and take some questions from the judges here for ByTaste.
Great. Excellent presentation. Looks great. Now I'm hungry, so that's good.
We'll help
a couple quick questions. one company I would suggest looking at is a company called MetaFlavor out of Long Beach.
Sure.
They've been in this space for a while, and I happen to know the founder there and some of the challenges. So if you want a roadmap, check those guys out and go with it. I do think there's something there in the space. It's just a really fragmented market when you start talking about restaurants and those things. So it's, like you said, technology has to do the heavy lifting. So I like the APIs you're using there. How are you going to acquire customers for yourself?
Right. So we want to acquire the customers through Facebook, get them involved. So they see these games. It's like someone shares a picture of a food item, and so it's like hot or not. They can rank it out of 10. And when they do that, we're basically automatically creating this flavor board for them, and then we're gonna basically suggest restaurants without them even asking for it, and kind of say, "This is our service. Come get the app."
So I really like the concept, and obviously if you can make personalized recommendations work, it's a huge deal. Couple just quick thoughts. It sounds like you're trying to answer the question of where to go. Are you also trying to answer the question of what to order when you're there? Just one thought there, and then another thing is the choice of what you eat sort of fundamentally unscientific? Because I just got back from Europe and I really enjoyed just kind of walking down the street without my cell phone and just wandering into a place that smelled good or where there's like somebody attractive outside. Seriously, I mean that was how I chose where to eat. And then last, on the picture side, like pictures are great, but it seems like you need to fundamentally understand what's underneath the plate.
Sure.
So like what's a part of what's on that plate, so that you can do some analytics around it to actually predict things that couldn't be known easily, rather than just things that you can see in a picture. So there's just some thoughts. I don't know if you have any.
I think as far as the pictures go, we want to really leverage the APIs, and so when we display a picture, we know what restaurant they came from, we know who generated the picture, and then tie that back to some different reviews. And through those reviews, if we find a specific user that has the same taste as you, we can use their reviews of other restaurants to push things up the list.
I'm not particularly knowledgeable about restaurants, so I'm going to pass on that part, but I'd like to compliment you on showing revenue. You're the first one yet who sort of said users times this, times that, times percent. Whether they're correct or not, you're to be applauded to figure out that somebody might pay you. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. You're up. I don't know. I want to pitch too.
All right, we ready? All right, thanks for giving us this opportunity to present Snap Realty, the new way to buy real estate. The problem that we identified is that the image that's in your head can't be readily adapted to the search criteria that is currently available. Our solution: you go out and take a picture of a house style that matches the image that's in your head, and then through our service, it gives you MLS listings of similar houses of that style. And this is how we're going to do it. So I'm going to just walk you through it. The buyer's driving down the street. He sees a house he really likes. That's the image he has in his head. He takes a picture of it. Through the software, he tags it and categorizes it through our, like I said, through our software. Then, using the magic of image recognition, he gets a list of homes that look similar to that out of the MLS, and he now has an option to choose apples with apples. He selects the apple he'd like to pick, and then through that, we're going to allow him the opportunity to go to the site to give him more information on that particular house. Now, at this point, we'll talk about the customer validation. We went out on the street and we polled a lot of people. We had a real estate agent, we had a building developer, and they agreed, as well as everybody else, at 80% that the customer values style in choosing their home. What? I said 80, right? I said 80? All right, 80%. And then we went on to the net, and we found that out of 20,000 people polled, 58% said that style was a major factor in buying their home. Now we're going to move on from this to the business model. Okay, how we make money. First way we make money is through the click-through generation fee that we're going to get from our what? That's right. Through our partners, Zillow and Truilla. And then the second one is lead fees through our real estate agents. So we're going to be able to get a click through from lead fees that come through the real estate agent if they get that if they get that click through. And then on the back end, we have data that we're collecting, and we're going to be able to sell that back to the real estate agents, the builders, and home improvement stores so that they can better target the customer with their product. And I know Jeff can talk more about the marketing, but we're going to acquire our customers through regular PR, and then we're going to hit the social media, and we're going to get people talking to people through that. We're going to talk to real estate or investing groups and real estate agents to sell their customers on this service, so that they can better supply what their customer wants. And then we're going to partner up with these different real estate search engines like Zillow, Trulia, and Redfin, and generate fees through that. And that's going to give us our click through initially. One of the interesting things is our competition is also, in a sense, our partners. Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to get out on the market ahead of time. We want to be in that first position so that we complement these guys and we don't compete with them. All right, we have a diverse group of individuals up here with a lot of skills and a lot of years behind them. And what we found with this particular event is that we can work together as a team to make this happen. So we feel very confident that this is a reality. And going back over it, we've identified the problem, we formulated our team, we've got our business development and revenue models put together, we validated it with the customers, and we've got a prototype. 4% of the leads that are generated, we're going to get income coming in off that based on how many times people click through houses during the search criteria or during the time that they're looking for a house, if that made sense. And then what we need is we need seed funding for our app development. We need an app developer, and then we need to establish those contracts with those partners. And we can get this done in a very short period of time because this is all pretty much technology-based, building the app. And that's Snap Realty, see, Snap, own. You know it when you love it. Or you know it when you see it, I should say. And then you love it.
All right, thanks a lot, Snap Realty. Take some questions from the judges here.
Yeah, gentlemen, this is actually relatively interesting, but let me suggest a few things. Who do you think your customer is?
On the front end?
Yeah,
The person that has a desire to live a certain lifestyle in a certain... Okay.
So let's do this. First of all, the MLS that you use that is not available. It's closed. So the only people who have access to the MLS are licensed realtors. So the would-be home buyer takes a picture of my house and says, I'd like to live in a contemporary home like Mr. Centuria's. Okay. There's no way to search the MLS, but you're close. You don't want to be in the lead gen business, I don't think, and I don't think you want to be in the click per revenue per business. What you want to do is you want to be in the software business. I've run 7 software companies. The software business you want to be in is you want to license the technology to the realtors. You can license it to Zillow and others, but you have to understand, the realtor's problem is customer acquisition. Mostly customers search by price and location. I want to live in La Mesa for $487,000. But if you then added this component, your customers are Coldwell Banker and Willis Allen. That's who your customer is. It's not Betty and Bob. And you don't want to be in the lead gen business because that's a sucker business. So I'd suggest that you're really close to something, but you want to be in the software business.
Thank you.
So I really love this concept. And I think, you know, the first thought that came to my mind was this is a less creepy version of the Facebook face matching algorithm.
Right.
You know, it's actually a useful way to do something that won't creep people out. But I think, you know, curb appeal is only one, you know, characteristic you might choose a house on. So I was thinking, as you were talking, I was thinking, well, great, let's match, you know, front yards or so the first view of the house. But what if you see a backyard you really love and you want to see another backyard that looks just like it, right? Or you want to see a master bedroom design that looks very similar in another house, and that's not easy to do using the MLS. So just one way to think about expansion is to move beyond real estate completely and do similar sorts of matching in other verticals. And another way is just to move beyond sort of an initial curb appeal. So I love it. I don't necessarily know whether Neil is right about the data side of it, but I think Neil's probably right a lot more than I am. So I'm not going to disagree with him, but I do think there's something big here.
Thank you.
Yeah, like it. Is there a software out there right now that'll match on this? Were you able to find any programs or anything similar that you could pick up off the shelf or anything to leverage?
Well, as far as the imaging,
Yeah,
we've
the
got Gimbal
algorithm.
we've got Gimbal and others
that seem to admit it.
And as their technology advances, this is more viable. It's going to become even easier to use.
Yeah, I kind of think of it as a Pinterest for the real estate market.
Right.
To,
That's been mentioned before.
Build off of these things. It's more than just a front yard. How do you make it more things? And also, how do you do to the real estate agents rather than the consumer? Because the consumer buys a house once every so many years, but the real estate people, they're in that every day. So that's your customer. That's the person that you want to partner up with and figure out how to leverage. But looks cool.
Okay.
Great. Thanks a lot, Snap Realty. Hold on a second. And we're going to take a short 5-minute break, stretch your legs, have some more of this great food, and we'll be back here in 5.
raise awareness about the products and various different vendors as well. And obviously the spend incentive is going to get people spending more. So the points are all based on activity. Once you have these points, you'll be able to cash them out into farm bucks that are able to be used at the farmers market. These farm bucks are actually alternative currency that are currently being used, not this type, but current alternative currencies are actually being used at farmers markets today. So it is a system that they're familiar with. And then down to our business model. So we decided to go with a subscription model, which we found based on feedback is the least barrier to entry. So we talked to a couple of market managers who said that $1 per booth would be acceptable or something along that route. And so if you see the forecast numbers here, one market with an average of 40 booths could get us $4,000 a year. Across San Diego, it's actually about $100,000 a year. And across the nationwide markets, comes to about a $15 million opportunity. So we're not saying we're going to get the whole market, but that's a huge opportunity. And there's potential for other phases like local advertising, business analytics, and a payment system. And that they don't need any technology. So this helps customers, vendors, and market managers. All the reasons are up here, and it'll be great for farmers markets. So
Thanks a lot, Utter Loyalty. So here for Utter Loyalty. And stay up here for a little Q&A from the judges. The judges are going to ask you some questions. Okay.
And thanks to our team over to the right.
Thanks, guys. So your name certainly got my attention. First and foremost, I don't know what type of imagery you're trying to put into my mind, but I did get some.
You should have seen his face when he came up with the idea.
Yeah, yeah. So I think you want to be thoughtful about that. And you know, the thing I like most is all the customer validation work that you did, because I think that'll lead to a very clear mission. I was a little bit concerned when you said it won't be integrated with the actual vendors, because it seems like you really want buy-in from the folks that are actually selling the product to the customers to make sure the whole solution's fully integrated and all the info is up to date and the deals are all in there. So you don't have somebody showing up and saying, hey, look, on my iPhone, I should be able to do this with you, and the person says, I have no idea what that is. You know, they're selling, you know, some corn and they have no idea why you're showing them their iPhone. And then the other concern I had was just around the size of the market. It seems like, you know, for 54 San Diego markets, you may know the marketing manager that can get you half of those, but what about for all the other markets? That's going to take salespeople and marketing, and $103,000 just isn't enough to justify doing all that work. So I'm just, you know, wondering, you know, how much bigger can you make that?
You want to take it?
Sure. So I think we have pretty good connections already with a number of the market managers in San Diego. We've gotten pretty strong validation from them. And there was recently a coalition formed of all the farmers market managers in San Diego. There's about 40 of them who are starting to meet more regularly. They've already offered us a space at that forum to go in and talk to them about our ideas.
Yeah, I think as far as the revenue opportunities, like I said, that's kind of phase one, to be able to get the system into the markets. As far as phase two, local advertising by offering, you know, Starbucks coffee around the corner, business analytics, and even a payment system in which you know, the vendors actually don't need any other technology other than the QR code, so people could just scan it and they're all set and ready to go.
I think Mike said it pretty well. For people like myself, I'm a small-time venture capitalist. I actually write checks. It's important to pick a big enough market. So I think it's interesting, and it could be a lifestyle business. I mean, 100,000 is a nice business. But if you're going to spend, it would be hard to make it big enough. Like many, I sort of like to try for really big ideas. So that's the only drawback. Otherwise, I think it's well done.
Sure. Could I answer to that real quick? So to answer that, we kind of debated this, and he's more for the mission, I'm more for the balance of money and the mission. So we actually had some other business model ideas where we do make more money, and it's based on the credits that are spent and the rewards that are spent. We'd get a commission of those, and there's a much larger number at the end of the tunnel when you do it that way. But the barrier to entry, you know, would be a lot easier with this first step. So,
big fan of high tech and a low tech industry, but that's also a big hurdle because it's not an industry that it needs to be revolutionized by technology. So one of the things I would really focus in on is someone's not walking around with their phone trying to find a farmer's market. So you probably don't need that feature. So go back to the features where it's incentivizing them and really focus in on those things of how to get that customer engagement and use it at that at the actual farmers market, and get the incentives and how to keep those people coming back. That's going to help your client, which will be the managers of those farmers markets. So,
Sure.
Definitely an interesting idea, though.
Thank you very much.
Let's hear it for Utter Loyalty. Next up, we have truthforvoters.org.
Hey, Solomon, are you ready for the election?
I'm frustrated. There's so much spin in the news and in the campaign ads, I don't even know what to think anymore. I wish there was a place I could get information on candidates and issues that didn't try to tell me what to think.
What Solomon needs is truthforvoters.org.
Hi, everyone. I'm Fred Young, and along with Solomon and the beautiful Courtney Gant, we're introducing truthforvoters.org. Truth for Voters is a nonprofit, nonpartisan voter information portal. It helps voters to be informed with honest and credible information about the candidates and issues upon which they will vote. One of the primary features is in the voter information portal is the ability for the voter to enter their zip code and have the system represent a facsimile of the ballot, a complete ballot of which they will be voting. And from that ballot, they'll be able to drill into more, better, accurate, nonpartisan information. We're trying to deliver nonpartisan facts, not partisan opinion. We used lean startup techniques in order to do our customer validation. We first made a list of all of our assumptions, and then we prioritized these assumptions by risk. We then created a survey in order to prove or disprove our assumptions. The two main assumptions were, will people find us via a web search? And the other one is, will we be perceived as being credible? 70% of our respondents said that they will search for information about candidates and propositions via the web. So we believe we'll be able to generate a significant amount of traffic. We'll also use other marketing techniques to generate additional interest. The issue of credibility was very interesting. We learned many things. One of them was if we use corporate sponsorship, that may impact our credibility. And we've actually revisited during this weekend how we will present our information in order to make sure that we're credible. Advertising will be important to us because we not only want to reach voters that want to be informed, but that group of voters that have given up trying to be informed because it's too difficult. There's no source of honest, credible information without everybody trying to tell them which side is right. Truth for Voters, go ahead, let's go look at the phases. Truth for Voters will be delivered in 3 phases. And the first phase is 2 parts. We say a campaign of 1 day every 2 years. We assert it is the duty of every American to spend at least 1 day every 2 years becoming informed upon the issues upon which they will vote, preferably the September-October timeframe before the November election. And the second part of that is the voter information portal. We figure good business dictates if you ask someone to do something, you need to make sure that you're able to give them the tools so they can get it done and be successful. So the voter information portal provides where we're able to go into issues and provide information about national issues so people that don't really understand the issues can learn more about what the issues are. Not just national issues which get into the press, but state issues which are less advertised, and local issues so that people can see what's going on in their local community, the county and the city level. Same thing with representation. Who's on the county board of supervisors? What do they think? How many people really know that? In my own situation, I find that I try to be informed, but by the time I've researched candidates and propositions, by the time I get to judges, I'm tired. So I really want to have a tool that kind of helps me figure out what I should do regarding judges. The voter information portal, the voter will be able to enter their zip code and then click the show ballot button, and it'll bring up and say, here's what your ballot's going to look like, and it's all of the candidates and issues that they're looking for. Now, as you can see on the right there, we can click on a button that says, position on their issues, or the voting record, or their financial disclosures. Regarding the voting record, I want the candidate that voted no on the Create Great Jobs for Everyone bill. I want him to be able to enter a reason why. I want him to be able to say, well, when it was committee, it was a great bill, but then they added all kinds of pork to it, and I voted no to send it back to committee to remove the pork so I can vote yes on all the good stuff. That's the guy that I want to vote for. So the voting, so it gets more complicated than just did he vote yes or no on something we think might be good for us. Let's go ahead and go into issues. Here's a case we go into issues. So we've look at a set of issues here, and we're able to say, what is the detail about the issues? Now, this is an area where we've kind of changed a little bit, is we've really changed to the point of, actually, this is where we're going. Thank you very much, truthforvoters.org.
Thank you very much. One quick question, or a couple quick questions. Where do you get your information from? Because that's always going to be in the back of people's minds. Because how do you make sure you have the accurate information on each of the items?
Our main goal is to get the information from the candidates. So we're going to be asking questions and framing really good questions. We believe that the truth lies in better questions. And then we go to the candidate and say, answer the question. And then we will rate the candidate to say, did he answer the question or not? For example, if we said, do you believe in gun control? And the answer is, well, I think too many Americans are being killed by guns every year. Well, of course we agree with that, but you didn't answer the question. So what is your position really? And we want to be able to get down to the nitty-gritty. We find that too many candidates are always spinning their answers into something else.
So you'll be the filter.
So we'll be asking questions and getting the candidates to be able to deliver it. We also have several sources, U.S. sources, like for the voting record. That's coming from the U.S. data entity. So there's a lot of sources that we're going to be able to get factual data.
Yeah, one thing is it's complex data. So how do you simplify complex data and make it really digestible for consumers?
I'm an old-time software architect, both a database guy and a front-end interface guy, and that's why I thought that I could do this. Because I have a lot of experience in both of those things. Because you're right, it's a complex data problem.
So I just want to commend you for trying to take on this challenge, because first off, it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of technology-related platforms around politics that have been successful, and I commend you for taking on the mission of bringing more honest and unbiased data to the public. Because personally, I don't believe that honesty and politics go together too well anyway. So trying to bring those two together, but I think the biggest concern I have is still the complexity issue. I mean, if you're trying to, sort of like what factcheck.org does, if you're trying to look at, say, Obamacare or Dodd-Frank or any issue or any piece of legislation, some of these things are thousands of pages long and the politicians don't even read them. So I'm still struggling to understand how you're going to condense all that into something usable for me when I visit your site.
Well, I think there's a whole lot of people who don't know everything they're going to vote. For example, if I look at my California voter pamphlet, well, I've got the state issues, but then I show up the voting booth, I didn't get my county or my local issues, so I'm seeing these issues for the first time. By being able to bring up a ballot, at least we're going to be able to say, look, these are the decisions you have to make. Plus, I feel strongly that a lot of voters like to think about political ideas, but they don't get down to the point that they say, I'm making a decision. And they need to be able to look at that ballot and say, this is a decision point that they're making. How are they going to make it? Figure out what, and I think that's what's going to get more people involved in the process of saying what's true about this.
I don't have much more to add. I think it's a worthy goal if you can educate the populace.
I think that's the bottom line. The bottom line is that we feel very strongly that this division that exists, the rhetoric and the disinformation, is causing that division, and it's spreading fear. And we can't stand by and just let it keep happening. If you understand what I mean, we have to get involved, and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeremiah and this is Ben. Just a little history. Ben is currently the head IT and web developer for a manufacturing company, and I have worked with nonprofits and churches on creative efforts for over 10 years, and we are fund. We see a big problem today with how churches get funding outside of tithe and offering donations, and outside of that they usually have to resort to things like yard sales, and it's hard to schedule those every week because it's hard to get members out week after week, 7 a.m., 6 a.m. to come and see what they have. And so those are scheduled kind of few and far between. But our solution is Fund, and Fund is an online and mobile platform that will allow church communities to sell and buy items and use all or a portion of that sale amount to help fund their church. And it's as easy as somebody just uploading a picture that they want to sell on to our site and setting the church that they are a part of and the price they want to sell it at. And they could choose to donate 100%, or on a sliding scale, they can slide back and choose to keep some of that if they want to make some money and then donate the rest to their church. We did a little bit of validation. There are over 150 million Americans that attend church every week. And these are people that are very passionate about their communities and would do anything to make their communities thrive. And we are connected to over 20 of those churches, one of those being Life Church. It's in Oklahoma, and it has over 46,000 users worldwide. And thank you. And they are very interested in seeing us roll this effort out. We also surveyed over 300 people this weekend, and about a third of those people actually attend church. And we asked them a couple of questions, and those that had classifieds at their church, they were not working, not successful right now, and they didn't go to help fund the church. It was just for the members in that community. And but 88% of those users said that they would sign up for Fund in the next 6 months if we rolled that out. And we got a ton of other feedback about scalability and feature build out that we won't bore you with. We also did a lot of canvassing for our business model. As you can see, don't try to read that. It's a lot. We'll just hit some of the highlights. We have a dual-sided value proposition in that members can buy and sell, and the sellers can choose to take some of that money as well as donate, and then the buyer gets the item they bought. And both the members and the churches, they benefit from the church being funded. We also have API integration through social media. As soon as somebody uploads it onto our site, it'll send out to everybody in their social media network, and also the churches and also ours. So everybody in those networks will be able to see that those things are listed for sale and be able to take action. We also are, and our revenue stream is transactional fee based, and we are thinking we haven't validated these numbers, but we're confident that we can offer a 4% fee if all is donated, or a 9% fee if just a portion is donated. And in some of the research that we did, users, they said they'd be willing to spend about $30 a month on doing this. And if we can scale to 10,000 users, that is over $250,000 a year. And some of the other features we want to do is gamification to kind of rank the social impact and the good they've done over time, and do kind of like leaderboards of how impactful you have been, and offer incentives and rewards recognition for that. Also, we'll be mobile friendly and have a mobile app. And Ben has done some of the build out for the website, and just want to walk you through some of that. So we just kind of wanted to do something really clean, very to the point. And if you scroll down here, you can kind of see that everything is kind of uniform and grayscaled, kind of blurred. But once you mouse over some of those things, you can kind of see the actual, what they look like. You see the bike is for sale. We can click through on that. You can see what it is, the bike, a little description, see that with the church that it's going to fund, and they can see the price. They can make an offer. They can also see the user that is doing that, and if they click through to that, they can see the investment they've made over time, the impact that they have done. And if I was in here and I wanted to add an item, I can go up there and I can click Add Item, and I can drag and drop and do all this stuff and the pricing that I want to do. So we think that this is scalable beyond the church, but we're starting here because it's something that we know, and it's a market that we can scale. And Ben and I were the only teammates, so we did this 54 hours on like 2 hours of sleep, and so we grinded it out, and this is what we have.
Take some Q&A and net starter. Could you get on deck?
So if I sell my old bike, how much of the money goes to the church? How much of it goes to you? How much of it goes to me?
You can choose. If you want to sell your bike, say for $100, you can choose to donate 100% of that, or you can say maybe you want to make $20 off that sale just because you want something in your pocket, so you can donate the rest. And if you choose to give all of the money to that church, then we'll take a 4% transaction fee. And if you choose to keep some of that money, we'll take about 9%.
Okay, I would just encourage you to be careful about how you do that, because I couldn't tell whether it was sort of a platform for me to make money or for my church to make money or whatever. And the other thing is just being clear on the value proposition in your pitch. It was towards the end where I started, actually the last screen, and it's not because I'm that slow, but it took me a while to get to the point at the end. And then I also heard a lot of different words like Craigslist, transaction processing, gamification, leaderboards, crowdfunding. So again, sort of along the same line, just be clearer so that it's easier to figure out what you guys are trying to build.
I don't have anything more to add except, is your customer the individual or the church?
Both. The customers would be the churches that we partner with, but also the community that is in that church, the congregation that consists of that.
I have to think about it. We give a lot of our stuff to AMVETS. And so the question I'm asking is, do you think people want to sell stuff, or do you think they want to give charity?
I think they want to do both. I think that this offers the platform to do both, that people can just donate and give 100%, but those that are kind of have the pain point of the sacrifice of, man, do I donate this to my church, or do I go
But where
sell
I'm
it on
going
Craigslist?
is this. If I wanted to make 100% donation, I would call up the organization and say, if you come by my house and pick up a bike, 2 beds, a chest of drawers, and a TV, I'd like to give them away.
Mm-hmm. That's a gift in kind that the church is then responsible to. We're leveraging the monetary value of that and automating that, and the church is getting the money from that.
Without having to do the work, so to speak.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great, thanks a lot, guys. Next up, we have Vet Starter.
So, good evening, everybody. I'd like to just start by saying a big thanks to Startup Weekend and to the judges for volunteering your time to be here and help us do this. My name is Mike Anderson, and we are vetstarter.org. We are a crowdsourced funding platform dedicated to service-disabled veterans that are starting small businesses. Traditional charitable organizations have done a great job helping our troops. Unfortunately, they're completely faceless, so when you donate money, you really have no idea where your money's going. With the social media we have today, there's absolutely no reason that donors shouldn't be provided the satisfaction of seeing 100% of their money go to the cause of their choice. Furthermore, disabled veterans are faced with some unique challenges, and we at VetStarter have developed a way for communities to help them succeed beyond simply financial donations. So we did a pretty extensive customer validation. We sent out a survey over the web to over 300 individuals, and using social media networking, and the responses we got back were all very, very positive. What we did find out, however, was that not everybody was willing to donate. When we said, well, what if 100% of your donation went to the disabled veteran, the answer we got was absolutely 100%. So using this data, we developed a site modeled after Indiegogo and Kickstarter, but has a number of significant differences. The first difference is that we're going to give 100% of the campaign donations directly to the disabled vet. Second is we are going to be a nonprofit, so all donations will be tax deductible. Thirdly, through a blog, donors have the opportunity to actually get to know their vet and support and encourage them as they go through the business development. Fourthly, we're going to be able to prevent fraud using 2 methods. First is we're going to validate their disability claims. We're also going to require they do a business plan through things like the Kauffman Foundation, Project Tiki, and EBV and SBA Score. So for financials, our estimated first-year goal is 1 million donations provided to veterans. This goal is going to be hopefully met by funding 500 vets at $2,000 each, which is less than 1/4% of the 2.2 million disabled veterans as reported by the 200 2011 Pew study. So the business itself will be funded by tax-deductible corporate donations. Our plan is to offer a scaled tier sponsorship with increasing visibility through our website. Initial startup costs will be about $10,000, which will essentially account for legal fees, become established as a 501c3, and we hope to use Pillsbury for that. For our board of directors, we have a personal connection with the 29th Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Al Gray, which should hopefully increase our credibility. First year operational expenses are approximately going to be $100,000, and details can be found in the business plan that we've developed that we will deliver to you. So we're now going to show you a demo of our website. These are actual campaigns that are listed, and if you want to follow along on your mobile device, you can do so as well.
Hi, my name is Chad. I'm from Minneapolis. I'm a 100% service disabled vet. I'm starting a business so I can continue to support my fellow troops and regain my independence. One of the hardest things of starting a new business is the financial aspect. The business I'm starting is called Blue Force Systems. It's a defense subcontracting company. I'm already established, have a tax ID, and I'm registered to do business with the federal government. All I'm asking for is a little bit of financial support. I have a financial statement and a business plan already established. All I'm asking for is a little help purchasing office equipment and supplies. I would love to continue to support our country, and with your help, I can continue to do that. Thank you.
So Chad has a good reason about why we're so incredibly compassionate about this cause. 3 of us are disabled veterans. One of us, Jeff, is still actually in the Wounded Warrior Battalion. And I just want to close with a quick story about one of the Marines I'm working with right now. He's a father. He's got 2 young children. 1 month after his second son was born, he lost both of his limbs in Afghanistan. He's never going to be able to run with his children. He's never going to be able to play play football with them. His goal now is to start a woodworking shop. That's going to cost him a lot of money. The federal government has decided that each one of his limbs is worth $50,000. The fantastic thing about crowdsourced funding is that as a community, we get to decide how much this individual has to start his business, not the government. So you have to ask yourself, how much is a leg worth?
Thanks a lot, Vet Starter. Let's get some comments, questions from the judges.
Thank you very much. That's impressive. I'm going to be a little bit difficult, but not by choice. That's my nature, I guess. I like the fact that you would argue for some connection to the person you're helping. So that's really impressive. And there's other. That's an existing model. You can support children in Botswana. But the sentence that the problem most young or disabled doesn't matter. The problem of starting a business is not necessarily money. So certainly it's part of it. So the point I want to make is that it shouldn't just be a donation. 501c3, got it, I'm there. But some kind of, for example, I just met John at Tiki. You must continue some kind of mentoring program. So if you sent $100,000 to this gentleman in the video without some kind of been there, done that, can I help you from organization, the likelihood of success would be dramatically decreased. So I'm going to argue for adding the mentorship, which is essentially a startup weekend that you need to do for them.
We actually have that in place, sir. It's through their blogs. After they receive the funding, the donors will be provided access to the individual's blog, in which they'll be able to provide encouragement. And that encouragement can be through mentorship, or it can be just through motivation. Hey, understand you're having some hard times. Don't give up. Starting a business is hard. And our thought is that if you get 200 donors to give you money to start your business, and you know that you've got 200 people out there rooting for you, I think that's the power of this crowdsource experience.
It isn't just a blog. It is really, there are several dozen
things that have to happen. Sort of just the way you've trained. I mean, there's a building block to a business.
Right.
And
that's the
it's past just hang in there, pal. It's way past hang in there. It is something as simple as I'm going to show you the Intuit software package for accounting. I'm going to explain very clearly gross margin. They got to be sure that you can't make it up in volume.
Sure.
So I don't mean to, but I made my point.
I was going to say that's the requirement we have for them to even post on the website is they have to have gone through the small business training through SCORE or through Kauffman Foundation. And they have to have a developed business plan and a financial statement, and they have to have been validated by some third-party source that says they're serious, they're ready to go.
So I think Neil's point was great. I think one other thing that I'd love to see is just this idea of recycled capital. You didn't say anything about the nonprofit would at least have some ownership stake so that if it's successful, say 1 or 2% or 5% of these guys are successful, you have more capital to fund additional people. I know that's one of the reasons why I love Kiva. I've been using it for since 2006, and I've funded 7 or 8 people with one $25 contribution. It just keeps coming back, and I keep re-lending it out to somebody else who's doing a business in Africa. And so I just think the idea of building recycled capital into the model makes a lot of sense.
It's our hope is that through corporate donations, once we get beyond our operating costs, what we'll end up doing is something like matching a campaign dollar for dollar. If the campaign is close to succeeding and we've exceeded our capital expenses for that year and we have money in the bank, we'll post, we will match your donation dollar for dollar for this campaign. That's one of the ideas we had.
Real quick, love the idea. I think it's really necessary and a great value add. These guys hit on the 2 things that I was really concerned about, which is you need to be an educational resource. You need to become like SCORE almost for these people and check in. And then also revenue coming back because corporate donations dry up pretty quickly and you're beholden on to that. Right. So find other revenue sources to help keep going.
Thank you.
But
yeah,
I think it's great.
Yeah, and our goal wasn't to become SCORE because they do such a good job. Our goal was to just direct them into SCORE or into Kauffman Foundation or into Project Tiki. Like that to help. So you have to be educated through the depository. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Let's hear it for Vet Starter. All right, last but not least, we have Reader Up.
Let's give it up for Vet Starter. Those guys did a good job. Being in the military myself, active duty Navy, 22 years old, I appreciate everything they're doing. We are Reader Up. These guys, we met together this weekend and got some problems we want to talk to you guys about. Here's my problem. Here's my son Hendrix laying in bed with a remote control to a TV and a tablet right next to him. And he couldn't be without it. He couldn't live without it. I couldn't take it away from him. And when I try to put a book in front of his face, like, hey, Hendrix, let's read, he taps it like it's a tablet. And he's trying to, he thinks it's broken when it's a book. And he's not even 2 yet. So he's like, what's going on? So I'm like, wow, well, I love reading as a kid. I still do love reading. And I don't think technology is a problem. I just think that it's unbalanced. So to validate this problem, to make sure it just wasn't us and that I wasn't crazy and it wasn't my kid, we went out to the streets and we went out to the places where people actually use technology a lot and have children. And we went out to Best Buy, actually. I walked in there, I had a Google shirt on and a lanyard. And I talked to the manager, like, hey, I'm down from San Francisco. I work with Google, talking about this new product. And he was like, yeah, go talk to whoever you want to talk to, So I'm walking around talking to these parents and tell them, ask them, hey, do you think your kid do you think your children aren't reading enough? And they were like, 80% of them said, yeah, out of 20. And I got all these people coming around me asking me questions, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And they're really excited about the product. So the solution we came up with is Reader Up. It's going to allow you to earn points for reading, compete with friends, and unlock rewards. And we also decided to ask the kids because without the children, it wouldn't be possible. So we asked the children unbiased, aside from the parents, would they be able to read more if they were rewarded for it? And 70% of them said they would. So the solution we came up with is Reader Up. It's going to be a service offered on a mobile device or on the web that's going to allow children to get on there and find books and be rewarded for it. And how do we validate that they're rewarded for it? There's a community-generated pool of quizzes that the child is quizzed each chapter, and this gives them chapter points. These chapter points build to rewards that are generated by the children and the parents themselves. So it can be rewards such as a birthday present that they normally would get, or a trip out to the bowling alley on the weekend, intrinsic or extrinsic rewards. And parents can get on their device and also, it allows a good synchronization between the parents and the children, so they're on the same page of the same book, so they know who's reading what, how they're doing it, and it's just it's a great way to incentivize reading. There's our landing page. You can get on there on readerup.com and sign up and get early access to it. How we make money. One obvious way we make money is through affiliated marketing. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Play has their Google Books and iBooks. So you get on there and see the list of books that we go through, popular books that are trending right now. We go through the local school network and see what the school district reading lists are, and we put those books on there, and we allow you to buy the books directly on our service. Also, once we build that source with the parents and the children, we build that market, and we build that need, we take it over to the local companies that are around here that want to substitute those offers that the parents might have made and substitute them with offers from local companies like the bowling alley. They want to reach that certain demographic, but children being at a certain age, we can't release their information, so we use their parents' information to release that information to these local companies. And this allows us to build a bigger crowd that we could take over to the bigger things like, I don't know, Six Flags, Legoland, SeaWorld that the kids really want to go to and incentivize them for really reading. Our roadmap is to continue our validation marketing. We already started our social networking campaign. We have our Twitter and our MySpace page up. You guys can go like us and add us on there. We want to validate more partners, grow a bigger partner and sponsorships because people like the idea of reading, and it's a great culture. And also we're starting our crowdfunding campaign with Indiegogo this week. And also we're pretty sure that we are eligible for grants and whatnot, so we can build our minimum value product. And what we learned here at Startup Weekend, me personally, this is, I'm only 22, but this is the second company that I've attempted. And I thought that if you had a great idea, you can go up to Mr. Ron Conway in Silicon Valley and like, look, hey, I got this idea that nobody's ever thought of. Can you write me a blank check? And you'll get it. Well, I learned that it's not like that. If somebody's thought of your idea before, they might not have executed the same way, and it's all about execution. And working with these guys, I've learned that. First, I thought we had to target adults, but adults who read, the reading is the satisfaction that they get. They don't need rewards. They don't need leaderboards and gamification methods with the reading. So we target the younger kids so we can start out early and have them develop the skills of reading when they get that age. At first, we thought it was just an app, but now it developed into a service that people can use all the time. And, at first, like I said, I wanted to go after the readers, the families that read. So I tried bookstores and whatnot, but then I realized, you know what? It's all about the technology. The people use the technology. So I went into the tech families, and that's where we really found our niche. So, yeah, thank you. You can follow us on Twitter, look us up on Facebook, and sign up for early access, readerup.com.
So I really like this idea. I think it's really smart. I also, I think it's a real problem. As we move into a more technology-enabled society, I don't think children are actually thinking as deeply, maybe as they did before. I mean, I could be totally wrong about that, but I kind of believe that. And also, you present very well. So I really liked your initial slides. You pulled us in right away. I haven't seen a lot of teams do that so far. So I guess, I don't really have a lot of questions, but I think the one comment I'd make is just reading on a device can be really distracting. It's a high excitement environment where you're probably reading, but you're also having email alerts come up, and if you have games on in the background, they're flickering at you, and then somebody's sending you a message. And so, how do you get somebody to really engage in reading when they're being distracted in that environment? How do you build rewards that are powerful enough to overcome that distraction?
Well, I guess I wasn't clear enough. We don't actually have the books on the device on the app itself. This, as of right now, we don't have that structure. We don't have the publishers. This is about reading paper books in your hand. And the way we validate that is, like I said, is the user-generated quizzes. And depending on what age group that the child is, like the younger kids who don't read that much, the rewards for them are two things. The gamification. There's regional, there's local, there's state, there's weekly, monthly leaderboards that they can compare with their friends and even put on social networking if they're old enough to have that network. They can see, hey, I'm better than you. You need to catch up. I got 10,000 chapter points this week and you don't. And then for the older kids that already have that reading, knowledge, maybe, the rewards isn't so much to them because they already love reading. The reading itself is the reward. So the gamification comes in there to add another competitive edge to reading.
I think if it's integrated with the device, it's probably going to be more powerful.
Yes, we believe that we wanted to be integrated device, but for this weekend purpose, to have that scale is definitely something we could achieve this weekend, but we do believe having an integrated device is the way we want to go.
Really like it. Great. Encouraging reading. I think that's a great thing. Great presentation. I guess the only thing I would say is local libraries. you know, they have reading programs for kids and do the gamification, you know, little treats or something, but might be another avenue to help spread the word.
Right. We definitely wanted to get into the educational field, and that was our first field. It was we were going to mass email all these teachers on the weekend and hopefully get some responses back. But we realized that, you know, poking around in the educational field with something, you know, as such sensitive as learning with children is, you know, it's a sensitive subject that we want to make sure we have support behind us before we tackle that.
Let's hear it for Reader Up. All right. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty impressed with what I heard on Friday night of the 60-second pitch, and after 54 hours, these guys have got, you know, startups. It's now time for a very hard part, not for us, but for these judges. A lot of good ideas, so they're going to head out upstairs, go do these deliberations, and see if they can't pick 3 winners out of this. Let's hear it again for all these great teams. All right. And in the meantime, we're gonna pick one more, which is a crowd favorite. So we're gonna have all the teams, and it's using a little bit of the high-tech solution. It's text to vote, crowd favorite. But to give you, you know, it's 11 teams, so we need a little refresher. Could I have the person or team leader from each team come up and give us your 60-second pitch again? This gives you a little taste of what happened on Friday night.
Probably not gonna need 60 seconds.
Same order of what we got up here. I'll start with hold on a second. Let's go, 1 minute.
Franchise is pretty much crowdfunding to start your own franchise. If you ever dreamed about owning a franchise, we were able to get funding for you through crowdfunding sources. Just come to our website and just check it out.
Yeah, text 93953 to 22333 for franchise.
Up next, we've got, I can't read anything. Pinnacle Fitness, I think. Pinnacle.
Right, my name is John Brandon Pierre. I'm Sergeant in the Marine Corps Reserves. Now the name of the company is Pinnacle Fitness and Training. The problem that we see right now is that obesity is a huge epidemic, not only nationwide but worldwide. The more that we can actually service the clients or not and give them an interactive online way to work out at home and give them the same service that a premium person would get from their training, the better we can do for the client. We want to basically come to you at home via the internet. Now, as you're watching the video of me working out or your trainer working out, you can actually see us in the corner monitoring you, coaching you, and motivating you to actually, you know, do the workout either better or help you out with the form that that you have and things of that nature. The other side of it is that we want to bring everyone together on platforms like Google Plus or whatnot, and actually bring it to a point to whereas you can actually go out into the community with your trainer and have live events. Thank you.
All right, let's hear it for Pinnacle. It's text 93954. All right, Flutterly's up next.
Hi, I'm Denise Walker for Flutterly, and right now there's pretty much 3 ways for you to share content online through social media. You could either share through text, pictures, or video. And for me, the problem with text was it's not personal, and there's really no emotion when you do it. And also, when you do video or picture, sometimes it could be too personal. So what we came up with is called Flutterly, in which you could add your voice to a picture, and you could pretty much have the picture come to life. You could send flutters to public update, or you could send a whisper if you want to just say something private to an individual, one particular person. Also, instead of having followers, you'll have listeners. Thank you.
All right, Flutterly, text 93957. And next up we have Personal Hero.
Hello again. I'm Isaiah Pacheco, a 6-year special operations veteran with 9 combat deployments. What we wanted to do is tackle the problem of not being able to put cash in your pocket when it is the most important. And we want to provide that platform for everyone. It's personalheroes.co. I wanted to thank my gifted team. They're really great, and they really contributed a lot to this project. And we're going to stay impassioned to see this project through fruition. And I hope you go on to personalheroes.co and post any jobs you got for veterans right now.
All right, Personal Hero. Let's hear it from By Taste. Oh, I'm sorry. Personal Hero, text 93966 to 22333.
Hi, I'm Matt from By Taste, which is a recommendation engine for restaurants. What we do is we gather information from you to create your user taste profile, which we call a flavor board. Based on this flavor board, we're going to give you the perfect recommendation for restaurants. If you like things like Pinterest, if you like Instagram, if you like using Facebook, and you also like restaurants, it's going to be a great service for you. Be on the lookout for it. And please vote for us. It looks like we're still down there. Thank you.
All right, great, By Taste. If you like By Taste, vote 93969. And next up, we have Snap Realty.
All right, thank you. I'm Michael Volk, and I'm with Snap Realty. It's an image-based search to match the idea you have in your head of what type of house you want with an MLS listing. And we're going to also incorporate this in with the real estate agents so that we can capture the market on that side and sell that data back to builders, real estate agents, and home improvement stores so that they can better capture their market through our data. It's Snap Realty. Thank you.
All right, Snap Realty. All right, Snap Realty, 93978. Next up, we have Utter Loyalty.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Joel with Utter Loyalty. 4 years ago, there were 24 farmers markets in San Diego. Today, there are 54, yet only 5% of the San Diego population is actually shopping at farmers markets. We'd like to see that number way higher. So basically, we're hoping to develop a marketing strategy that farmers markets can use. We're starting here in San Diego. We'd like to go national. Basically, it would be a loyalty app that would incentivize and reward people for going to farmers markets and spending money at farmers markets. Those points would convert into farm bucks, which could then be spent in the marketplace. Thanks.
All right, Utter Loyalty, vote 95136. And next up, we have Truth for Voters.
95137, 95137. Truthforvoters.org. Help us overcome deception in politics. We believe that if people are informed, they'll make good decisions. But they need ways to be deformed without being deceived all the time. So help us get this word out. Our donation, you can make donations on our site right now. Donations are enabled. And if you have any ideas of how we can raise money, we need $250,000 for first-year advertising in our launch. So we're looking to figure out how to raise the money. If anyone can help us, we'd certainly appreciate it. Truthforvoters.org. Thank you very much.
Don't worry, folks. It looks like we had a little technical error, so we're going to reset the poll, and we're all going to vote again. So we're still doing this 1 minute presentation so that you all get a chance, and then you can remember. If you already voted, we're going to reset in a second, and then we're going to vote again. So looks like we had a little snafu here. All right, next up we have Fund.
Fund is an online platform that allows church communities to help fund their church. either buying or selling items. They can post it for sale, and it shoots out to all of their social media, and letting their friends and family see that they can do good too. And so once that purchase is made, they go to help fund their church. So that is fun.
Right on, fun. Let's go with VetStarter next.
Yeah, VetStarter is a crowdsourced funding platform for service-disabled vets to start small businesses. It's like Indiegogo or Kickstarter with a couple exceptions. The disabled vets first have to go through some free training. They have like a 1 to 4 year period when they're in the Wounded Warrior battalions, and there's a lot of opportunities for them to go through free training to build a business plan, build a financial statement, and then they will actually receive 100% of the donation. We're going to be funded by corporate donations to keep the website going, and we're also going to make sure that they're verified as a service-disabled vet, so that there's no potential for fraud. You know who your money's going to, and you'll also be able to track them and follow them as they progress in their business through their blog. So we're VetStarter. Thanks.
All right, on VetStarter, and Reader Up last.
Last but not least. Reader Up is a game that rewards your children for reading, and it rewards the parents with the satisfaction that their kids are reading more. I mean, what parent doesn't want their kid reading more, right? You know, bad parent. Kids, you get to give them rewards to things you would normally give them, you know, that you already buy them, or you can pick from a pool of local rewards that you choose and reward them with those incentives, and allow your kids to create that healthy competition within each other, within classrooms, within neighborhoods, within schools, so they can see who's better, and give parents a little something more to brag about on their social networks, you know, because they're better than Stacy down the street, that her kid's smarter, you know. So you always want to be better, and I know parents, especially me, I would love to see that. So readerup.com, sign up and earn, learn, and read.
Awesome, thanks, Reader Up. All right, we're going to take care of this voting situation, see if we can't get it fixed really quick. If not, we're just going to use the old paper and pen method. So thanks for your patience. Have some food and drinks. We're going to have a little party afterwards, so we'll wait for the judges to come back, grab something. I'll let you know when the voting's back up. was Flutterly. Congratulations to our crowd favorite, Flutterly. You've done a tremendous job. Thank you for presenting up here. All right. So let's all get back here. Now it's the part we've all been waiting for. Thanks for sticking around. It's been a great night. We've heard some great presentations. We're going to wait for one more judge to come back. But I know you all are doing other things on a Sunday evening, but this evening is a special one for us here at Startup Weekend because it's the first time we've done a veterans focused event, and we're really proud that this audience has come out. We're proud of you for being here. Thank you so much. So give yourselves a hand. And all those great teams that built these businesses in 54 hours this weekend, let's give them a hand. All right, so it's not about what you win at this competition, but having said that, we got some pretty cool prizes for these teams that we lined up for the local sponsors here. Not the least of which is going to be, for every team member, we've got $50 gift certificates for Uber. They are able to use those to get to and from their places they need to be. It's a car service, and we're lucky to have Uber providing that. Also, we have 2 months of free co-working at any one of the San Diego Co-working Alliance participating providers for this. There's Comerge downtown, Third Space up in University Heights. We have a couple others around San Diego. So the winning team as a whole team gets to have 2 months free access to a co-working facility to continue work on their idea. The third prize is a scholarship to the Founder Institute here in San Diego. We're very excited that they have offered that prize. It's pending an application. They have a pretty stringent application process, but the team leader of the winning team gets invited to apply to the Founder Institute and a scholarship. Those prizes are enough to get you started, but it's really going to be up to you to carry these through, and we encourage all the teams, no matter what you've done, or if you win this or not, to continue if it's your passion, because the mission of Startup Weekend is an experiential learning process about entrepreneurship. And I think we provided that this weekend, and we're excited to see you continue on, whether it's with this current company or something else. So let's start with number 3. Can I get Reader Up? Congratulations. We're going to keep everybody up here. We're just going to bring up the winners. Number 2, Vet Starter. Before I announce the grand winner, there is going to be another prize that I'm going to let Christian and John from Project Tiki explain. It's the incorporation prize, and so I'll have them do that now before we get the main winner. But they've picked a winner that they think they'd like to see move on, and they're going to incorporate them and help them.
John said it exactly right. At Pillsbury, being part of the ecosystem is trying to make sure things actually get out there and can exist, the same thing that John is doing with Project Tiki. So in addition to incorporating this company that was just started, John's Project Tiki will also be providing business services and technical services. So hopefully something that gets people moving even further along. And I'm glad you gave us the chance to do this now, because the team that we picked is Reader Up.
All right. I'm gonna drag this out a little further. Congratulations, Reader Up. I want to get all these volunteers up here from Startup Weekend, because I need to recognize them right now. And without their hard work, this event would not have happened. So come on up. Julian, we need you up here. Meg. BJ, Scott, Ed. And there's a couple more. I'm looking for Bo, but he is probably out there checking in people right now. Bo did a lot of great check-in. Meg, our lead designer, did a fantastic job with this awesome graphic you see here. Wes has done outreach to get a lot of you here. Without him, we wouldn't got this word spread out. Adam, that can't be here right now, is actually flying out to Japan. He's an active duty officer, and he is going on a training mission over in Japan for 3 weeks. So I think he's watching online. Adam, thank you for your help. Scott, he has done a tremendous job helping us get this event together and learn from our past ones. Ed came in tonight and helped us out with registration, great volunteer. BJ is responsible for all this wonderful food. Did you want to thank any food vendors? Okay. Yeah, all that food this weekend. BJ is your man. Jen has been tweeting and Facebooking and doing everything like a maniac. Thank you so much for all that. And my co-lead, Julian, started with Jen Startup Weekend here in San Diego with a little tiny weekend. And they have done a tremendous job to build this into something. So thank you to all our volunteers. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right, now the winner. Did you guys? Was there something else? Oh yeah, the winner. All right, let's hear it for crowd favorite Flutterly. So you guys get 2 months free co-working, Uber certificates to ride in style, and an invitation to apply to the Founder Institute. And let's hear a little bit of the judges, why, and well, congratulations.
Congratulations. Great presentation. I think it's a valuable service that can easily be implemented and scaled and has a lot of potential. So I think you've got something great and excited to see where it goes. Good luck.
Yeah, as I said, I thought you guys have a huge opportunity. So if I can be helpful anyway, just let me know.
Yeah, likewise. I said to my wife that if you only got the military, you'd have a really big business. So please take it to the next step, and we're pleased that it was unanimous in your case. I actually thought for a moment about writing a small check. You might want to come and see me.
All right, now we'll invite you all to stick around. We have a cash bar open. We're going to have that to do some more networking, mingle, and get to know each other a little bit. Thanks again for all coming out tonight. Without you all being here, it wouldn't be possible. Have a great night. What's that?